Hello guys, welcome back to another COMC problem solution video. So we have another question here, and as always, let's first start off by reading the question. So determine the sum of the angles A and B, where 0 is going to be smaller than or equal to A, and B is going to be smaller than or equal to 180. And sine A plus sine B is going to be equal to square root 3 over 2, and cos A plus cos B is going to be equal to square root 1 over 2. So let's first start off by squaring these two equations. So we can see that this equation turns into sine A plus sine B in parentheses squared is going to be equal to 3 over 2. And then down here we have the same thing but with cosine. And this is going to be equal to 1 over 2. We're going to be labeling these as equations 1 and equations 2. Now we can see here that equation 1 plus equation 2 is going to be equal to sine A squared plus 2 times sine A sine B plus sine B squared plus cosine A squared plus 2 cosine A, 2 cosine B plus cosine B squared. And this is going to be equal to 2. Now from here you can see that sine A squared and cosine A squared along with sine B squared and cosine B squared, these when they add together they're going to be equal to 1. And so our new equation here that can be right here is going to be 2 plus 2. We're going to group these together, so sine A sine B plus cosine A cosine B, and this is going to be equal to 2. Now we can cancel out 2 on both sides because we both got them, so we can move 2 over here, and now we're left with 0 on each side. And this means that if you look inside here in the middle, this is actually just going to be equal to cosine A minus B as a whole. And so this means that cosine A minus B is going to be equal to 0. And so this means that A minus B is going to be equal to positive negative 90 degrees. Or in other words, A minus B have a difference of 90 degrees. And so for example, we're just going to let B be the bigger number here, and it's going to be equal to 90 plus A, or 90 degrees. And because B is 90 degrees higher than A, this means that sine B is also going to be equal to cos A. So going back to this equation right here, we can now plug in the fact that sine B is equal to cos A, and we see that sine A plus cosine A is going to be equal to square root 3 over 2. Now that we have this, we're going to multiply it by square root 2 and then divide it by square root 2, like so. So square root 2 on the outside, and then we have to divide it by square root 2 on the inside for all of the terms with parentheses. And the reason why we did this is because of the fact that one over square root 2 is actually equal to sine 45 degrees and cos 45 degrees. And so by plugging that into here, we receive this. And this is going to be equal to square root 3 over 2, like before. Now, as you can see here, and if you look on the inside here, this is just equal to sine A plus 45 degrees in the middle, and this is also still going to be equal to square root 3 over 2. And so now we're going to move the square root 2 over here to here, so we're just going to divide it, and this turns into sine A plus 45 degrees is going to be equal to square root 3 over 2. And this means that A plus 45 degrees is going to be equal to 60 degrees, and so A has to be equal to 15 degrees, and since B is equal to 90 degrees plus A, so right here, this means that B has to be equal to 105 degrees. And so this means that A plus B, as the question asks for, is going to be equal to 120 degrees. So that's your answer. Thank you guys for listening. If you have any other way to solve the problem, please let me know down below in the comments, and thank you guys for listening. Bye.